Exactly. All right, let's see. Our next reader tonight is Grace Valentine. Grace, come on up.
The clear droplet center, outward flows universal current, born of tears wiped clean, sanctified in the sweet taste of skin. Honey drops, open scars formed when young, eager to please. When all any of us really wants is to be loved, adored, accepted, and protected. Exposing literary flesh, naked, vulnerable truths. A sure footing, awareness of all that exists, shapes, identify. Rest in the knowledge that baptism awaits. Such attention to detail, to spikes in vibration, the cascading flush, precursor to tremble awakening resonance, gives part to whisper, shudder towards the brink, liquid rush, lucid touch, travel towards, plunge in, waterfall in, arms extended. Cliff dive, willingly free fall, and I fall again and again into the seeking, bashful blush. I see complementing dualities of she, he, me, we. And my, what big eyes you have behind that mask. Remove the veil. Fall in. No hunger, all hunger. Seek nourishment. Desire to be fed. Pawing, come back here. Come back here. Come closer, closer. I'm so close. Gathering storm strikes this rogue. Such tender-hearted, well-bred manner. A responsive quiver, a willingly shift in focus. My red-tail hawk. Her black bear paws offer healing. No question. No question. Only invitation. Inviting heart chakra opening. My third eye surrenders. Transported bliss, sacrificial union override, permission granted. Welcome healer's embrace, a responsive receiver of unconditional love. Truth pours out. No question. No question. Know that you know that you know the depth of the connection. Hard drive wiped clean offers fresh start.
Thanks, Grace. We're going to hear next from Lori Loringer. Lori. No.
What's that?
No troops, no Lori.
No.
This, I brought your own Zoe, so you know, that's why I love you. All right, big notebook, short poems. This one's so short that my explanation of it is longer than the poem. Whenever I have to choose a race, I have to say white, although I'm better than Native American, but I still have to say white. And then they always ask several times if I'm Hispanic, and I'm a lot of things, but I know for sure I'm not Hispanic. So no matter how many times they ask me, I'm still not Hispanic. So I titled this, "Are You Sure You're Not Hispanic?" I come from a tribe called human. There is no race. If you are already where you are, what's the hurry? And I titled this Ascent, A-S-S-E-N-T, to Ascent, A-S-C-E-N-T. Phoenix rises from the fire, uplifted, curling tail feathers skyward, wings buoyed aloft by the killing heat, fueled by the eternal fires of destruction, she smiles, rising. It all comes down to binary, off, on, yes, no, annihilation, creation, now or some other time. No need for agonizing decisions. Her choice was made the instant she began to rise, the very moment she smelled burning feathers.
Thanks, Lori. And now please say hello to Rob Gurley.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, this one's called The Blue Key in Skinflint's Hand. An hour into morning activities, a hearkening back to night rain journeys, without intending to, becomes a new intuition that I was the chameleon vehicle, experienced as a progression of chords, trucks with a varied feel to the driver's seat. The design, yellow, red, green paint dabs. One dreamy sedan mimicked Tiger Beetle, glossing our calendar. The month our union broke. No worries. The same key always gave ignition. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's old and I reworked. Okay, one more. Wrote this last weekend, I need to try it out. Skinflint brings in load number 7. Steer the Ranger pickup into South H with another hodgepodge of brass floor lamps, yard tools and boxes, a pair of lidded plastic bins, we call them. One contains housewares from kitchen cabinets, the other clothing. A lady's wooden cabin case for oceanic voyages aboard ship that Christine has stripped of its torn, brittle fabric surface and stained, inside and out. Works this evening to bring a stack of large dinner plates topped by food drainers, funnels and spices. A few table glasses wrapped in cloth napkins fit in the corners. A scarred old table travels upside down between the truck bed's wheel hump hips. Load number 4 was the U-Haul truckload carrying washer, dryer, furniture. Turn left again after going over the US 101 bridge to south bank of the river. 4 or 5 blocks ahead. Go straight onto Curtis Street, where the arterial veers right. I'll let you know streetlights are sparse. Deliver as you are on the forgotten lot. How did I change that? Deliver as you are on the forgotten corner lot, number 200. Forgotten because the side street is absent, never constructed. All these years since the lots were platted in the first addition to South Aberdeen. Find the gravel street-side parking where a narrow cottage exists, built in 1920. 26. Okay, thanks.
Rob has a couple of chapbooks that I really love. I don't know if do you happen to have any of those with you
I
tonight?
brought 2 tonight, if someone's
Okay.
interested.
Yeah, I really like what Rob's doing, and I like the way they puts the chapbooks together, so I might want to ask him about those. Okay, next we're going to hear from Russ.
So last month at Tiger Talk, Tony told me she expected to hear the one included, so that will be included here. It's too bad the books aren't here tonight, but thank you for all the work you two have done on that. So I want to share a few that kind of tie in other characters related to Olympia. And this one is the person who's mentioned in the featured poem. It's titled She. I am enthralled by her hands. They twist and tie her sustenance. And they soothe discomfort and uncertainty away. Her eyes of gray pierce into my soul and grab on tight. They hold me fixed, and in them I see my memories staring back. This one's titled Addie, another person I knew in Olympia. I heard you whisper like a waterfall. Maybe not a large Niagara, but something larger than a trickle. The watery wailings leave me numb and empty, like escargot, the flesh pulled from the shell. Who? What are you? I am the wind, the rain, earth, air, water. I am all. I am the cherry Coke in a Chicago cafe. The water of my blood is pulled by the moon. This one, I don't remember the particular incident that inspired it or the person, but by the date of it, and I kind of keep track chronologically, I'm pretty sure that this was in Olympia, so somebody there. Titled Vivacious. She stared me down, tossing her head in the most vivacious way. Her hair smelled of apple. Then she made love to her latte. So I moved up to Olympia in January of '96 to start as a transfer student mid-year, essentially a junior at the Evergreen State College. And after 6 months, I didn't make firm plans for the summer, and I did join the fraternity, I guess you might call it, of many other students and non-student visitors who spend some of the time during the summer months living in the forest. There's 1,000 acres of campus. About 660 of it is contiguous forest. And I knew of at least 3 different tree houses, and so I spent the summer with 2 other friends there at a tree house. And this was just about a month before that happened. Soon to be houseless. Little bodhisattva sitting in a tree, do you have a little wisdom for me? Swilling Rasi Chablis, mighty Irie, pondering what lies before me into psychedelic windows I hope to see as I embrace extreme poverty. Soon I'll be working and doing some couch surfing. So I submitted 2, and I don't remember what the other one was at the moment, but the one that was selected is titled Oli. And I didn't think anything of it, but when the confirmation came from Chris and Tony, there was a question wanting to clarify the meaning of that. And I was just used to calling Olympia Ole and didn't think anything about it. And so in the clarification, it was fun to have to educate an East Coaster on what was I talking about, okay? So many people know it's just a slang for the town, but most Northwesters know it's a beer. And okay, so this is Ole. This was written late that summer of being houseless, living in the forest. Olympia is waking up. I can see it in their eyes. I can see it in the way they walk, yawning at the sky. Above the urban onion, an elderly man in pajamas dances with his cat. And after buttered wheat toast and jam, he puts on his favorite hat. A few floors up, the Ole PD studies the subcultures of Sylvester Park. Face seeks respite from an abscessed tooth in the gazebo. The pain, he says, must be baptized like a spark. Leilani sees her first morning at her new pad. Thank you.
And now a Facebook friend who turned out to be a real person, Ian Caton.
I was thinking about 96, I think that was the year after Jerry Garcia died. So that was a tough year for a lot of people.
Sorry.
This is called, this is called The Cat's Okay. I wrote this just before I got fired. We put the cat down. My brother-in-law died of HIV. We knew that was coming. What else happened? And then I got fired, and life went into turmoil for about 3 months or something like that. But this was written like right before that, so if I read this last month, I probably would have been sobbing during it. So hopefully I won't sob. All right. The cat's okay. It's about a cat too, so I don't know why I would sob, but it's a cool cat. My family's in turmoil because of the cat, but he's okay. I saw him eating from a can of tuna this morning. The cat was saved from the Humane Society when he was a kitten. We were surprised to find out he was a Maine Coon. Imagine that. A brand name kitty from the animal shelter. Now who would get rid of a cat like that? Maine Coon kitties have a lot of fur. And this one is no different. Each summer we had to get him a little lion's haircut. Give him a break from the heat. The cat's been drinking from the milk dish. Again, even though he never really acquired the taste for milk. He's always been much more interested in whatever it is you were doing. Taking a shower, splashing the water, braving the vacant bathtub after it had been used still wet, with micro puddles, or helping me drink my glass of ice water at night. The cat needs another haircut. I hear we're going to have another heat wave soon. But he's so vain, he's always embarrassed whenever he comes home with that new circus lion's haircut. The cat's name is Jake Mulder Kelly Caton. Caton because my wife and I got married. Kelly because that's his maiden name. Mulder because of the X-Files. His brother was the late Bruno Scully Kelly Caton. They would often solve mysteries together, like who put a dead bird in Mom's slipper. And Jake because that's just who he is. Jake was never that affectionate to me being his dad until one dark and rainy spring evening in May, I saved him from the rooftop of our new house in Portland. And being a California kitty, he wasn't used to the weather we get up here in the Northwest, and so he meowed for quite some time. After I climbed up and carefully brought him down, he would not stop telling me how much he appreciated that. But the cat's okay, even though he won't eat anything. To even that can of tuna, he's now turning up his nose, because he knows it's getting to be time to go see his brother Bruno. And I'm getting all weepy. This one's for Dave. Can I read one more? Do we have time? All right. This one's for Dave. I'll read them fast. And so I walk with my head in the clouds. It's April out here in Southwest Washington. Big puffy white clouds, cumulus and stratus, the stratocumulus and whatnot. Grand canyons of cotton over my head. Manhattan skylines of fluffy white floating into the sky. Titanic ships of stuffing sinking in the horizon under. Pure blue sky behind red-tailed hawks. Circling, surfing tidal waves of thick clouds and breaking on the shores. The gray, wet clouds ready to burst vertical watercolor strokes. There are 4 layers of cloud. There are 4 layers of sky. The low, puffy white, the gray, heavy wet, the thin, white, high clouds, and the blue sky above even all that. This morning, driving to work, I saw 5 layers. All that, plus the low, damp fog, driving through my windshield wipers, sky down low, tires splashing, puddle, sky, in a pothole. Wet Southwest Washington in April. There is so much going on above my head. I barely notice until it's almost too late. A garter snake, quailed and pissed, upset that I nearly stepped on him. He hisses, pointed tongue flicks in defiance. The vertical yellow line, like a twisted road in the mountains, back and forth. The little guy is poised, ready to fight, upset at my neglect of attention. It's April in Southwest Washington, and I am reminded of the snake we caught in my neighbor's garage last year, terrorizing their 7-year-old daughter, another garter my son and I captured, placed in the plastic terrarium, and returned to the shores of Whipple Creek. I, with my bad knee, shaky on my feet, and Riley balancing down by the rocks, saying goodbye to our slithering friend as we released the serpent from the container into the wild, holding back tears, or the time Shelley followed me back to my cubicle, stuck on my windshield, a praying mantis, bright, green, and beautiful. I kept her stored in my empty pop container after removing the ice and plastic straw, another gift from spring in the Southwest Washington, where she watched me work at my desk for the rest of the day. Both of us trapped. And when I drove home, I stopped by the pet store and bought that $14 terrarium to house the mantis. And it was the kids who named her Shelley while we searched for leaves and twigs to furnish her new apartment, as I explained, her beautiful bright color, her exoskeleton, and the fact that her hands looked like she was praying to a god. And a month later, when we finally did let her go, both Kira and Riley were sobbing, saying their goodbyes to their friend, their pet, their praying mantis, Shelley, who flew up into the sky, dancing among the clouds, out here in Washington, the big puffy white clouds, cumulus and stratus, the stratocumulus and whatnot.
Couple of quick announcements. Saturday at noon, I'll be recommencing my monthly workshop at Niche, noon to 2:30. It's $20 suggested donation or pay what you can, which includes zero. We just want to get in there and we have fun over there. And then on February 1st, I'll be at the Ridgefield Library at 3 o'clock. I don't always know where people are coming from, so some of you might have come from Ridgefield or might know people there, so let them know. And then I spent a little less than a year at Washington State University's Vancouver campus, their writing center, and I really loved being part of the team there. It's an amazing stuff that they're doing over there. I was let go due to budget cuts, but I still have the support of Dr. Candy Robertson, who's the director of the center, and I think that she would like to have me back if she can. And Deanie Regar, who's another one of the professors at WSUV who really likes the work that I'm doing, decided that she wanted me back there so badly that she helped me to get a grant that in part is going to fund having me return there to do workshops and poetry open mics, because those went well, they were well attended. Some of the people from this community showed up even though you have to pay for parking. And so those are going to start up again on January 30th. So if you'd like to come out to the beautiful campus of WSUV on January 30th at 6 p.m., we'll do an open mic out there, and we're going to, the grant funds us at least through the summer, so we'll have one workshop and one open mic per month through, at least through the end of their term there. So, and all of this is a long introduction to one of the people that I met in that context, and was really, it was fun to have her in the workshops there, so it's good to see her again. Morgan Hutchinson, come on up, Morgan.
Okay, so I have two short poems, I promise. The first one is about, I wrote recently after discontinuing use of the birth control pill, which I hate, and will never take it again after taking it for 3 years straight. It is called Embers. When I'm burning like this for an informal person or some casual contemplation, for the sake of easy searing, my body and its lack of practical self-supervision intensifies the blaze, habituates natural seduction, and ignites the upper story. I yearn for perpetual embers, but those pills, that casual prescription, extinguish that glow for the sake of clinching ice. My body and its healthy appetite for fire aches to be scorch-tempted and oxygenated. The second one, and I don't know if anyone else has had this experience, but when you can't sleep and you get up and you just like have to write something, whether it's a dream or a thought or a list or whatever, I'm sure you guys have all had that. This one I just had to write. I woke up and I just had to write something, and the letter N came to my head. So this is called The N and the Bed. Nocturnal need notions, necessitating nature, needing need, netting navels, seeping neat panes of winter, of cinder, narrowing necessity, nose diving drapery, dozers, flowers, flow hasty, pasting passage, throw tasteless, hasteless, needless nurture of nuisance, nurturing corners, nesting quilting quakes, swilling factors, rooted stakes, thrill saving, saviors thrilling, until the God morning, pour me a cup and let's get on with it already.
Okay, and next we're going to hear from Melinda Bell.
I'm gonna wait.
She's going to wait.
I'm falling asleep.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. Rainey?
Well.
Yeah, and I have a feeling Rainey might have an announcement for you about an upcoming poetry reading here in town.
Like great.
Yeah, thank you. Barnes & Noble, last Tuesday of the month, 7 o'clock. Mr. Hill and I host, and it's a lot of fun, so please come. Okay, this is about Grace's boots. Grace, show them your boots.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
My boots.
Okay. Ricardo and Eddie. We were walking by a vintage clothing shop, my friend and I, when a stellar pair of Tony Lama boots called out to her. Actually, it was Ricardo, the left boot. Hey, babe! Look at you, tall-legged, gorgeous redhead. Come over and give us a try-on. The other guy's name is Eddie. I am Ricardo. We think we'd like you to take us on a walk. Grace, I said, he's talking to you. She laughed, shall we? As she pulled open the door. A bell rang, and a smiling shop owner said, may I help you? Grace said, I'd like to try those on. Ricardo burbled excitedly, did you hear that, Eddie? That beauteous babe may be getting us out of here. Eddie said, anywhere but here, Ricardo, I miss Austin. Oh, stop it, Eddie, you miss OKC too, and every podunk town that cowboy rode a bull in. Be here now. We're in Vancouver, and life is about to get a whole lot better. We've been discovered. If we're lucky, no livestock will ever crunch our uppers or dang near pull our heels off again. If this lady decides we fit, we may get a softer life. I got news for you, Ricardo. City sidewalks ain't pillows. No, but if we're lucky, she'll walk us on some soft trails. Oh, Ricardo, you're such a dreamer. Grace said, oh, they fit perfectly. I'll take them. We walked out smiling and heard Ricardo say to Eddie, dreams do come true, Eddie. You just gotta believe they do. Yay, Grace.
A moment ago I saw Herb and now he's not here. Did he go home?
He got tired.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd known we were so close, I would have said, Herb, hang on, I'll let you go before
Home
me.
stretch. Could someone go out and make sure that he made it out of the parking lot? That he's not slumped out there somewhere?
Well,
We're gonna have to start getting a van to cart people out of here. You know, stretchers and vans. He probably made it. So now we have the poet of steel, Mike G.
Oh, happy anniversary. Thanks everybody for helping to make this place the sanctuary that it is for free thought and freedom from worrying for an evening about bills and all of our other problems. So thank you, Chris and Tony, Mel, cover to cover and all that. I'm always happy to be here. Strangeness wakes in the basement, ascends to find moon infecting white fog, tiptoes around puppy love's tyranny. Anguish by anguish beholds the dying. They showed us the world in mirrors, grotesquing everything, especially that blindfolded suck and grope show they call love. We ushered Mozart far from the ball he dropped. Piano Concerto No. 20 in D minor clearly needed jazzed up with percussion and clowns juggling on unicycles. She was haunted by every poem, so they were all ghost poems. She was turned on by every cowboy hat, so each was a catalyst for orgasm. God's emoticons, clearly the :P tongue wag at humanity, and heaven turns out to be a bank insisting on initial deposits we can't make. Love was obviously not enough for Adam and Eve. They needed brains and a challenge. That's what the fruit was for. That gloomy shadow at the microphone represents the best I could do with my gift, communing with other gloomy shadows, closest I've come to finding home. They're lacing our oatmeal with sedatives. A dream revealed to me their secret essay, oatmeal and the end of disruptive individualism. I eat cream of wheat now. We tend to do best what we're interested in because we tend to practice those things most. That's why the crazy are adept at art and oral sex. Watching the geese eat shit meditation, I refuse the objective world in which things are mostly empty space and the new Homo economic DNA strain shaped like dollar signs. Eat and drink what you want if you think you're gonna feel bad in the morning anyway. Cosmic animals need more than hospice music and the apotheosis of dolphins ushered through hoops for a peek and a whiff at the high-octane seaweed forever denied them. Oh my God. We expect our greatest plasma donation poets to take the needle with heroic stoicism and to escape the bewitchment of friction. I expect the moon and stars of them. I guess I'm hoping that absurdity opens a portal to God so that my hands may chokehold some answers from that original white thing who's always pinching our ecstasy off. Taking these 16 quatrains of strangeness as courage flag to the face of anti-mind power. Kill me, keep your fucking money, I won't serve your kingdom. This daughter of Orion with bleeding mind opens her eyes to a non-world that never glittered. I choose to love her. Thanks.
I've done this privately and publicly and in print, but I was just thinking just now, just wanted to thank you again, Mike, for saving me when I was on the side of the road and didn't think I was going to make it. I mean, you know, poetry can save our lives, and Mike T literally saved my ass, so I'm happy to be here to celebrate with you because Mike was on his way to help me out. And now, showing us all how it's done, Dennis McBride.
Now we'll go to a beautiful day in the neighborhood. First, a little digression, because I had a need to read this. Republican living rooms, Sharon Olds. I have known Republican living rooms, spacious, the oversized furniture, overstuffed linen floral, the big mahogany coffee tables, heavy as map tables in some war room, the huge clawed feet piercing the deep walls of wall, the table lamps large and brutal, their tall shot silk shade shedding a bright gold haze, the light of the rich, the high ceilings, the strange spaces between the chairs and couches after most of the guests have gone. Those who remain are drunk, so they take up more space, their thick financial auras expanding in the quiet, all suspended in the 14-karat blaze of the lamps turned up so high. It takes a while to notice there is something going on near the doorway into the well-appointed dining room, some kind of tussle. On the carpet, the host is kneeling on the throat of a woman, his face streaked with blood. His cheeks are glazed with sweat and happiness. When she dies, he glitters with excitement. His life makes sense. He has a brief moment before anyone comes close to perfect bliss. He has finally found something he really likes, something he can do for fun. Best of all, it costs absolutely nothing. Okay. I'm going to read this just for my own self because it makes me feel good. War and Peace, sometimes does. My cat went into the bedroom when I wasn't looking, knocked the bird cage over and ate the bird. He dragged it out to the living room and ate everything but the head and wings. I had to get a replacement bird before Kevin got home from school, so I put it in the trunk of the car and drove down to the pet store. I was in a hurry, but I remembered I had to be turquoise on the chest. When I got there, all the turquoise ones had yellow heads, but I couldn't remember if his head had been yellow. Then I remembered that his head was in the trunk, so I went out, and sure enough, it was yellow. So I went back in the store and bought one of the birds with the yellow head and got home in time to put it in the cage in Kevin's room. He didn't notice anything. Sometimes love is like that. I'm trying to remember to put the old bird's head in the garbage, but I keep forgetting. You know how that ends. Signed up for a week stay at a Trappist monastery, but it only lasted about 3 days, so I got kind of a poem out of it. Vertigo at Trappist Abbey. At 46, single heading west on 99, a sharp right turn of Bill's Market will get you to the small white room with Jesus staring down from the wall on your little Spartan cot with a sad reminder. I'm here for a change, but it's the same old trap, not two soft breaths within miles, and a Gideon consolation to tease the old ache. Outside, there's the wind in the maples talking to that higher advertised self it's supposed to all be about. The monks are at vespers, belted, robed, sandaled, safe. But I'm in my room at my little prayer desk under the Last Supper reading an axe murder mystery, Death and the Good Life. I sense this inner realignment isn't going to work. The ball joints and shocks are too far gone. Then it hits me. There aren't any dogs here. Where are the dogs? The slow fear begins to rise in my stomach like baking yeast, like the time Henry Fonda was lost in the woods berry picking in Golden Pond and found his way back to Hepburn running scared. Relax, it'll get better after dinner, I think, but it doesn't. You ever try to mix polite reverence with a stomach screaming meat? Remember Bogart and the African Queen when he's eating dinner with Hepburn and her missionary brother and he tries to stop belching at the informal, formal table? Well, Bogart isn't here and you couldn't beg a belch with a prayer. It was the old hand in the lap trap. My Uncle George always said, if you find your hand in your lap, excuse yourself and run to beat the devil. It occurs to me there are no children's voices. The main color is white and the smiles are kind of off nice, like a handsome tuna parlor where we took Aunt Ethel. I heard the biblical echo spoken above her stillness, love not the world nor the things of the world, but she did, and so do I. I don't want a gray heaven of starched hymns and formal feelings. This is forever in a wool suit. I want cement sidewalks, oil stains, red paint, and yellow butter. I run for my life back to my suitcase, take Jesus and the Last Supper out of the desk drawer, put them back on the wall, and check out. My Toyota starts like Lazarus, and I push the pedal to the floor the way James Dean did in the car race and rebel without a cause. I fly down the road past gold green prayer fields to Bill's Market where signs like Hansel and Gretel's breadcrumbs lead me back to Ed's Expert Auto Repair, the Grist Cafe, the Spot Tavern, Topless. My eyes begin to water before Honda, Zenith, Texaco, Century 21. Off to my right at a small airfield, I see a twin-engine Skyrider lift its moving wheels and rise from the ground. I want it to fly high, high into the air above the blue earth and say in the sky, open, honey, free. Close with this, a small confessional. I don't like women in the workplace. I don't like men in the workplace. I don't like the workplace. It's called Physics, a requiem for a pre-postmodern poet. The first snow is falling tonight, each flake coming down to where it is going to be, deliberately lovely as Einstein promised. All the fields finally unified and grand without a theory. Thank you.
I'd like to read about what Bill Graham used to do at the Fillmore East and other places like that. And one of the things that they would do is they'd have these long concerts with, a garage band, a country band, Miles Davis, and and they'd go on all night long. And they'd make sure that there was water and apples for people so that they could survive. We might need to do that or get IVs up in here next time. Never stop communicating with yams. With thanks from my friends at Piper Coffee. Endless sonnets unspool forth from silver screens, phosphorescent dragons swirl around the heads of weeping children and parents clothing tiny feet swimming in giant boots. Thoughts faster than my typing by a lot. Fairy tales hold a certain charm. When asked to choose between struggles, always go with the real. Attaché as survival. Got my eye on you, realize your part in the song. Throw aside all loose-fitting souls. Velvet dragon prepares to enter the inner ear. Won't be the same after this restroom encounter. Quit lying, never quit lying. Deadly presumption. This is not a beret. This is not a smile. Abundance abounds, no shit. I want for nothing. Encircle and devour imagined enemies, subsuming them in your story, but do not be surprised when they reveal themselves to be lovers. There is but one. Multiply exponentially, then repeat infinitely. So that's how I feel at Paper Tiger Coffee. I think that's a pretty good advertisement for why you should go there next Wednesday and read some poetry. The title of this comes from something that Kathleen Flanagan said to introduce one of her poems one of the times that I saw her read. I will try to italicize my voice. The time for subterfuge is past. I am an armature. I do like flowers and say odd things. Have quite simply forgotten the name of my universe. An invisible party hides around human beings, an alchemy in the margin, enormous, visible, or conspicuous at any rate, underlying. hope and doubt linked forever in dance, so I blow them up with love. I was telling someone about how I cried during Doctor Who, which is very amusing for Tony and Angela. The part about the time for subterfuge, and also I blow them up with love, lines from Doctor Who. Also stole from Donna Roberge, Carl Solomon, and my friend Sage Cohen for that one. No secrets. Ghost glimpsed at the periphery, undefined blur caught by insufficient retina. The secrets that are not secret. The movie is reality. Reality is a movie. The weight of too many goddamn outbursts strung around my neck like an albatross. Let's not become robots and forget our fellow man. We are filled with the seeds of all the troubles and blessings of existence, but also provided with the sustaining virtue, hope. Next month on February 13th, we will have the book launch for Ghost Town Poetry Volume 2, and we will have Gwendolyn Morgan, who has been here before, but I'm not sure whether she's read. Did she read when she came? Okay. So Tony liked what she was up to a lot, so we asked her to come, and we're glad that she's coming. There's flyers about it here, and we checked in with Gwen because it was her night, to see if she would be okay with having the book launch on the same night as her reading, and she graciously said yes, and said it would be an honor. And so those of you who are in the book come, and I appreciate all of those of you who are in the book and came tonight knowing that the books wouldn't be here. That is a testament to our community as well. I want to thank Mel for once again saying go for it and let everybody on the list read, even though it's quite late, and our Washington State Poet Laureate, Kathleen Jenkins.
January 18th.
Oh, we'll be here January 18th giving out the books.
2 o'clock.
And there was one more announcement I didn't give, which has to do with the bookstore. There's going to be somebody here doing a hand bookbinding class. And that class starts on Monday, January 27th. There's a flyer in the window about it, and we have one more flyer. So if you're interested in learning how to bind your own books, come on the 27th. Okay, thanks for staying late with us. Check in with Mel about whether she wants your help or she wants you to get out.